My name is Stephanie Kukoyi and I'm a Junior Assistant Psychologist at Lexxic, and today I'll be interviewing Mike Bedford on his experiences with dyslexia and the support he received since his diagnosis.
Hi, my name is Mike Bedford. I'm Head of Learning and Development at the Independent Inquiry into Child Sexual Abuse. Sure, so I think for me personally, education system failed me. It's not that I didn't enjoy school, but there wasn't really any recognition of or awareness of dyslexia, certainly not in my school anyway. And then gradually I just became more disengaged with the whole education system. And I think, to be honest, being given such a label anyway, such as dyslexia or neurodiversity, would have just made that I would have been treated differently. It had meant that I'd been bullied, I'd have lived a life of torment at school. So basically I just kept quiet, even to my own family. It's a funny thing though, because in class I could talk at length about a particular subject. So for example, history, where I was really passionate about and almost had encyclopedic knowledge of the subject. But then exams were just pure hell for me. The few I bothered attending, I failed with flying colours. There was just no supportive network around me, no real understanding. And in some respects I kind of have regrets about that. I feel it's a shame, because I think with the right support I could have gone on into further education, university. I think I would have actually really enjoyed it. So I guess leaving school without any qualifications or prospects was quite a daunting thought. I lived in a small town where the majority of people went into manual labouring or warehouse type work, so I felt like a failure. I couldn't understand why I was in this situation or what I could do about it. I knew I wasn't stupid, but yet here I was in this situation. And for me then, the only option seemed to be the biscuit factory. So I didn't realise it at the time, but I've been bullied and discriminated against throughout my life, sadly. I found ways to cope and developed a really thick skin and resilience. And for me, the more resilient I got, the harder it then became to ask for help. I don't think that's a good thing though, and I would say to people to ask for help and to reach out. So I guess the turning point for me was when I was looking to progress into a more senior position at work, and I found some of the work really difficult, and eventually I had to just confront my own fears and just say, look, I need some help. Doing so then led to my employer referring me through to Occupational Health Service, to Lexxic, where I was tested and I got a confirmed diagnosis of both dyslexia and dyscalculia. Yeah, so I think for me getting the actual diagnosis was such a relief. It answered so many questions for me, but also it filled me with lots of regret about missed opportunities. It gave me hope for the future because it made me feel like I was back in control. So for me, I think knowing I am dyslexic allows me now to play to my strengths and focus on what I'm good at. Don't worry about it. Definitely get assessed. I was, I think, to a large degree my own worst enemy, and with the benefit of hindsight I really wished I'd pushed my parents from a younger age harder to get a diagnosis, even though there was a real ignorance and lack of knowledge. I think thinking differently is a great thing. It enables you to channel your energy more efficiently and to ask for help when needed. So I think in terms of job search, completing application forms is challenging. I think it always will be so. I think as dyslexic we need to challenge for change and push for greater accessibility. Interviews are generally quite good because I think that plays to my strengths, particularly if it's more of a conversational interview approach. By definition, I'm quite a talkative person, so I find it quite easy to engage with people. I think more can be done to support people though, throughout the recruitment process, particularly people with differences. I think my current role allows me a great deal of autonomy, and that really suits me, and it allows me to be creative and to develop ideas. So for me now, I'm openly dyslexic, and I make a point of sharing this, particularly with new colleagues or when I join new teams. I think for me, and one of the reasons I do this is, after spending so many years living in denial, it's important for me to be open and fair on the people I work with. This helps me manage expectations and lets us all work together then in the most efficient, supportive and constructive way possible. Yeah, do it. Be honest, be upfront, don't deny who you are. So I think, as any dyslexic will tell you, it's a daily struggle. Dyslexia can get the best out of you, but it also can get the worst out of you. I can at times feel fatigued, as I've so much information being processed in my brain at any one time. I can actually feel mentally exhausted. I think this is incredibly stressful, and at times I can often just find myself sat staring at a monitor. Often I can be saying one thing and mean something completely different, and I have no control over this, or it just might not make sense what I'm saying. So there's a real importance there of being honest with your colleagues and getting that out in the open so that there's no awkward or uncomfortable situations. I do make regular spelling and grammatical errors, but I think technology is a great enabler to support you now, much more so than when I was younger. I think on the flip side, when it wants to be, my dyslexia can be an untapped pool of imagination, ideas and creativity. And for me, it's just getting that balance of being creative but also just being able to focus. I think it's really helpful to have a supportive network around you. So I'm quite lucky to have a supportive manager and a team who understand, who I can be honest with and they can be honest with me. I at times ask my manager to refocus me. Sometimes I can actually feel myself, and I can actually feel this. I can feel myself drifting away from the task that I'm working on because my mind has already moved on to something else. But I guess nobody said being dyslexic was easy. So for me, it taps into my creativity, my empathy, which is a great skill, particularly as I work in human resources, ideas, lateral thinking, verbal communication, and I recently discovered my love for writing poetry. This is a poem I've written called An Ode to Dyslexics. Life can oft feel hard and incredibly tough. Try as one might, 'tis never enough. But have faith, brothers and sisters, for you are a star. Channel your gifts and you will go far. Stand up, be proud, nay, do not feel ashamed. For your perspective, creativity and vision, they will remember your name. Come and join the family. You'll be surprised how many of us there are out there and who we are, what we do and what talents we bring. There's lots of help, advice and networks and support, and our understanding of dyslexia and of neurodiversity is growing. I think above all else, don't feel ashamed about who you are. Celebrate your diversity.